welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a spring porch refresh. If you've been following along, you know that we redid our porch last winter. We went ahead and screened it in, and we put new carpeting, new lighting. I sponge painted some brick around the windows and the door, and we fixed it a lot. We also had to fix the foundation. It was a huge project. So I will link those videos down below if you missed when we redid our porch. And when we did it, we decorated it for Christmas because it was right before Christmas, and I really haven't done much with it since then. So I really have been looking forward to doing like a spring porch refresh, adding a lot of greenery, and I really wanted to stick with like a green, black, and white theme for spring. I will be adding a lot more color in the summertime, but for now, for the spring, I thought that I would just make things look alive. It looks a little drab and a little wintry, and I wanted to make it look alive. So I'm going to go ahead and do some cleaning and do a few DIYs. So I wanted to share it all with you guys, bring you along for the process. So I'm just giving you some shots of what it looks like before, and then we're going to jump into a few projects. So one of the things that I really wanted to do was some DIY flower boxes. I used to have flower boxes in these windows, but they were plastic and they were like cheap from the dollar store, and they just, over the years got old and we threw them out, and I haven't had any for a while, but I've really missed having flower boxes. So I asked my husband if he could just build me some custom boxes, and these are I believe the measurements were 27 inches long by 5.5 inches wide. We just measured. We do have old windows and an old house, so the windows are set in, so we have a nice little ledge to set the window boxes on. So it's perfect. And they are so beautiful when they're full in the springtime, and I used to put real flowers in them, but since we redid the porch and it's got the screen and everything and the carpet, we don't want to add actual live plants to the porch because we don't want to have to water them and have water leaking everywhere. So we ended up just putting faux flowers on the porch. So when we made these boxes, we didn't exactly measure the end piece. We didn't take into account the bottom piece, so they were a little short, but thankfully I found an extra piece of wood, and we were able to cut the ends so that it didn't have that gap at the bottom. And then I went ahead, once he just used a nail gun to secure them. It's a very rough cut, very simple boxes. We just took 3 27-inch pieces, 2 for the sides, 1 for the bottom, and then 2 pieces on the end, and he nailed them together. And then I wanted to stain them, so I'm using, I think it's Early American, it's 230, and it's the Minwax stain, and I went over it just a couple times to get it as dark as I wanted. This is kind of a light stain. It's the stain that I've been using a lot lately in all my DIY projects, but I think it's the perfect shade for me, for my taste. And I was only going to do the outside of the boxes, but I ended up just doing the whole inside. It took me, staining takes no time at all, and it dries so quickly, and I just thought I'll just go ahead and do the whole thing. So that is what you're seeing now. I'm just staining them, and it just literally changes the whole look of it. It's such a simple thing, and they look so beautiful. So this is what they look like now that they're stained. I'm letting those dry, and now I am going to come back in a little while and show you how I filled them and what I put in them, and to show you how they look when they're set up on the windows, and they are so beautiful. But next I'm going to be painting this old bench. If you remember, I showed you this in my porch makeover video before. This is a very old bench. I actually found it in someone's trash. They were throwing away 3 of them years and years and years ago, probably 15 years ago, and the other 2 just didn't make it. We've had to throw them out over the years, but I kept this one one. And I did at one point try and spray paint it, and the paint just absorbed right into the wood and you couldn't even tell that I painted it. So I just assumed all these years I couldn't paint it. And in my last video, a lot of you were like, why don't you paint that bench? It would look so pretty. And I was like, I can't paint it. But I thought, wait a minute, I can try regular, latex paint. And of course it took the paint and it looks so beautiful. So I just painted it white. This is an outdoor white paint, the same paint that I used to paint my porch railings and stuff. And I have plans for this, so I'll show you in a little while what I end up doing with this table. That's what it looks like finished. I was so surprised that it took the paint so well, and I'll show you, like I said, where I end up putting this. So now I have a few things I wanted to spray paint, so I just got this Rust-Oleum satin finish. They said it bonds to plastic and metal and stuff, and it's the color moss green, and I thought it was a beautiful green, and I kind of wanted everything to kind of be this sort of shade of green. So I got that little watering can at the Target dollar spot for $3, and then this black planter is just an old one I had, and same with this green one. And I thought, why don't I just paint them all the same color? And then I had this extra board that I'll be making into a sign, so I wanted to paint that as well. And you'll see me step over the board a couple times, and when I did that, it got dirt on it. I wasn't thinking when I stepped over it, so I ended up flipping it over and painting the other side too, so that's why you'll see me flip it over. So anytime or any flowers that I have on my porch, like I said, I don't want to put real flowers here. I'm just using all artificial for being on the porch. I use actual live plants on the outside. But I like to use dirt to fill in my pots just because it, for one, keeps them strong and sturdy whenever the wind blows. They don't knock over, and this keeps the window boxes from falling out of the windows. It just is a great filler, and it also keeps the picks and the plants that you stick in, it keeps them from coming out. You don't have to buy like a bunch of styrofoam or something to put in the boxes. So I just bought a $6 bag of potting soil from Walmart, and it actually filled all the pots on the porch, so it was the perfect amount, and it's a great filler so that whenever you're, even for artificial plants, you don't have to just use it for actual plants. Okay, so these are the flowers that I'm going to use for my window boxes. Of course, if you made these, you can put whatever flowers you want. And I will be adding like some red and blue into it for the summer. But for now, I wanted to kind of just keep it red, white and green, lots of white and green. So I bought some flowers. Some of them I already had here, so I'll just go through and show you if you're interested
in the ones that I got. I had these for a while. They're just some that I'm going to use my wire cutters and cut these apart, but I had already used these before in other. I think I used these for Michael and Danielle's wedding rehearsal dinner. So I had those. I had one of these and I really love it. You can spread it out. I can make this go over the whole flower box. And so I had one and I bought a second one. These are $12.99 at Hobby Lobby, but I got it 50% off. So basically $13 for both. I got this at Joann Fabric. This was 50% off and it was $3.99, so I only paid $2, and there's an even amount so I can split these up in between the two boxes and just kind of like give it some height, and then these will hang down, so it will be kind of different levels and hopefully look full. And then these came from Walmart. I also had these from Michael and Danielle's wedding rehearsal dinner, so I am going to use one in each box. And then I really love the hydrangea look. I don't know if these are hydrangeas, but they kind of look like them if they're not. And this was $15.99 at Hobby Lobby, but it was half off. And then it came, I think it came with, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5 big white ones. And I have 2 boxes and I wanted them to be even. So I went to Walmart and I found this one for, I think this was $3.99 for one extra, and it almost exactly looks like it. So that way each box will have 3 big white ones. And I think in the summer I'm gonna just keep everything in the boxes and just add some red and blue into it, so you know it'll just be nice and full. So I just have these wire cutters and I'm gonna cut apart some of these. I don't know if I'm gonna cut all of them, but I'm gonna cut some of them because I want to spread them out. Like these I'm definitely gonna cut, and so I can stick them in, and you know, we'll figure it out as we go. Okay, it's super windy out here, so hopefully you can hear me, but I went ahead and there's my Bell. You say hi? Bell. You say hi. I went ahead and put one of these together off camera just so I could kind of figure out what I wanted to do, so then I'll put the other one together to try to match that one, and I'll show you how I did that. I also ended up putting a eucalyptus pick at the end of each box. I was just going to use 1 per box, but I'm going to use 2 per box, and I had extra, so that's totally fine. But these are the ones I'm going to put in here, and I'll show you how I did it.
So that is what they look like. Super simple. Of course, you could add whatever you wanted if you were to do this. I just like the green and the white right now for the spring, and they are so beautiful.
So I have this pot that I got from Hobby Lobby last year. I think it was like $18. I want to say that's what I paid for it. And then I got these there last year also. These were $4 a pick. when they were on sale, and I just filled this with dirt and stuck these in. I'm gonna actually reuse these in another pot. So I went to Hobby Lobby and I got some ferns, some artificial ferns. I always would hang ferns out here on my porch in the springtime, but since we've enclosed it, I can't do that now. And I didn't want any real flowers on the porch because I don't want the carpet getting wet and stuff. So I'm gonna try some artificial ferns and we'll see. I may need to get more. I don't know if it's gonna fill it up enough. So I only paid $12 for 3 of them. So if it's not full, I'll just grab another one next week when they're on sale again, but I'm hoping that this will fill it out. I love the look of ferns. They did have ferns there that were more expensive and they were really pretty. They were like a bright green, but these were a lot cheaper, so I was trying to do this on a budget, and I'm gonna see if I like it, and if, like I said, if I need to add more, I will.
I just filled these 2 pots with potting soil, and these are the picks that I took out of the other pot, and they're perfect for this green pot. And then the other small one, I had another one of those eucalyptus stems, and these are not like the best flowers. They came from Walmart and they're real stiff. They're real stiff and hard, so definitely Hobby Lobby has better picks and florals, but this is what I had on hand, and I like the kind of different textures and different shades of green. So now I am working on the sign, and I'm just using my Cricut machine to cut out the letters. I found something on Pinterest that was really funny that I thought it would be so cute on a sign. I was going back and forth. There was 2 that I couldn't decide on, but I thought this one was really cute, so I just cut it out with some vinyl and put it on the green wood that I painted earlier, and I'll show you what it looks like in a second. It's so cute and really funny, I think. So this is how the sign turned out. The Cricuts are so amazing. Like, I just whipped this sign out in no time. Didn't cost me anything because I made it with all stuff I had, and it'll be so cute on my spring porch. It says stay a while but not too long, don't make it weird, because you know I love having people over, but sometimes you want people to leave, you know. So I just thought that was a good conversation piece to stick out on my porch. The other one that I was going to use, or that I was going to make, I couldn't decide, but this was the one I chose. It was going to say, we know you're here, we have dogs, like, you know, you don't have to knock, don't ring a doorbell, we already know you're here, because my dogs are barkers. So I just put a little thing on the back, and I'll hang that out there in a second. But now I'm going to take the cushions off of this old wicker bench that I have. I thought about getting new furniture or having my husband build me like a custom sectional. That would be what I would choose, but right now I was trying to do this on a budget, and wood is so expensive, everything is so expensive, as we all know. So I thought, why don't I just recover my cushion? And I'm going to keep the black and white one. I made that one as well, and I didn't sew one end so that I could just take it off and wash it and switch it out. So I will be keeping that, and I'll probably use it maybe like in the fall or something, but I wanted just like a plain white one so that I could dress it up with different pillows for different holidays. So I went to Hobby Lobby, and they have all their outdoor fabric is always 30% off. So I got like 1 yard and 1/4, and I was able to, with the sale and everything, it was about $16 to recover it. And then I used my sewing machine, just put 2 straight lines, and then there's a seam already on one side, and I left it open on the end like I did the other one so that I can just slip it off and on, and it doesn't like completely look finished because of the one side, but I try to tuck it down in the side and you can't really see. So in a second I'll show you what that looks like, but right now I'm just gonna like move everything out and sweep really good so that I can start putting all the things in and show you what it looks like. So I finished my cover, and when I slipped it on, I didn't realize that I slipped it where the seam was showing, but I just need to take the cushion out and flip it around and put it back in. So you'll see when I lay it down, when I flip it over, that the seam is showing, and I just need to switch it. But my cats and dogs have already gotten little footprints on this, so I'll be taking it off and washing it often, I'm sure. But I love to have the neutral white cover so that now when I add different pillows and things, it won't clash with the black and white. And I really wanted to get like a green and white gingham rug, but everywhere I looked they were so expensive, and I just really wanted to keep it within a budget. So I just took the same rug that I had and flipped it over because it was more white on this side. So while it's still black and white, it still matches, it just was a little bit lighter. And then I'm just going to add my florals. This is one of the flower boxes, what it looks like in the window, and it is so beautiful. It fits perfectly. I love it so much. That's obviously, like, those are my favorite part of the porch makeover. And this little table is a family heirloom. My great grandpa made it, and so it fits perfectly over here, and it's protected from the weather and stuff. And I like the white furniture, so it matches the little table that I made. So this is going to be like a little, I painted it, I didn't make this. It's going to be like a little coffee table / kind of like footstool, I guess. And then I wanted to have a little blanket out here. This is just a blanket that I've had for ages. I got it at Goodwill a long time ago. And, sometimes when we're out here, it still is a little chilly this time of year. So I put this little green blanket, and then I picked up some pillows at Goodwill. These were a steal. They're like brand new. They have the little zippers, so I can take these off and wash them. They're goose down pillows. These were probably like $30 a piece, but I paid $2 for each of them. I found one and I was so excited, and then I looked and there was a second one matching, and they're in like perfect condition. So, and they're real neutral, but they add a little bit of color too. So I knew these would be perfect for my porch. And then of course my pillow that I've had out here already, I got this pillowcase on Amazon. It's linked in my Amazon shop if you're interested, but I just stuffed an old pillow inside of that, and I wanted to keep that out here even for the spring because I love what it says, and that it's black and white, so it matches. And you might remember I got this at Ross. It was $8.99, and I intended to hang it up out here, but it was just so, the rope is just so short, the ceilings are high, and it was just not hanging down low enough. So I do have a new hanging basket that I'm going to put up. I showed not too long ago. It's a colander hanger, which I'm going to put up with my summer decor. So I decided to just cut the ropes off of this and just use it as like a potted plant, and I think it's perfect for this table with the ivy like spilling over the side. It actually turned out way more beautiful than if it was hanging and you wouldn't even be able to see it. And then I have that pretty little bird cage I got from Hobby Lobby, I think a few years ago. And then that's the little watering can that I painted, and I just put some greenery in it that I had left over from Elena's wedding. And this is where I decided to hang my little sign, and I think it's so funny. Whenever I wanted it on this side of the porch so that when people sit, and sit and visit, we could look at it and it would just be funny. I know I've said that a lot, but I think it's funny. And this is a pillow that I had inside on my couch. I have too many pillows, so I thought, you know what, this green and white matches perfectly, and it is kind of nice to have a pillow in that little rocking chair, just, you know, when you're sitting out there. Now I got this chair at Goodwill for $4.99. My intention actually was to replace the rocking chair I have on the porch and use this instead, but Marion said he really likes having that rocker out here, so I just thought, well, I'll just use this in the corner, kind of just for decor, but it is extra seating if we need an extra chair. If we're outside, we can just grab that one. And then I just added a few little of the pots that I painted with plants, and then this little welcome sign was hanging on a piece that I had out here that I had made before, but I moved that inside and just added a little pillow, and of course my window box in this window. And then the very last thing I have to do is to change out my wreath on my door, and I just added a simple green wreath that will probably stay on my door until the fall. It's one that I've had forever. I got it at Hobby Lobby, and it's always my go-to when I need just a simple wreath. So that is it, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna let you see what it looks like all put together. I love it so much. I love sitting out here. I've waited for warm weather to actually get out here and enjoy this, because as you know, we enclosed it all back in the winter, and it's just been so cold. We haven't had too many days to enjoy it, but we are really getting to use it these days. And now that it looks so pretty and fresh, I love being out here. My animals love being out here. I look forward to all the spring and summer evenings spent out here. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. I love you. I appreciate your support so much, all your comments. You guys are the best, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.